There comes a point in life, usually in the early morning hours, when the world is quiet and still, and you find yourself awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering about everything. It's not dramatic. It's a hum, a subtle unease that whispers through your bones. You remember things you didn't finish. You feel a strange emptiness, even in a life full of responsibilities. And without invitation, anxiety slips in, quietly, like mist. But here's a truth few people tell you, that anxiety isn't a mistake or a sign of weakness. It's not a failure of character or proof that you've done life wrong. What if it's an indicator, a gentle knock from your inner world, urging you to listen? In Buddhist teaching, suffering isn't something to eliminate, but something to understand. It's a signpost, a compass, and most importantly, it can be transformed. Today, we'll look at one powerful idea from Buddhist philosophy that doesn't erase anxiety, but transforms our relationship to it. A thought that has guided monks through silence, ordinary people through uncertainty, and can guide you too, especially in this decade of your life, when reflection begins to outweigh ambition. Let's walk this path together. 1. The root of restlessness, control and expectation. Anxiety in your 50s is different. It doesn't shout, it lingers. You're still active, still needed, but something feels shifted. What once felt certain now feels like sand slipping through your fingers. Buddhism teaches that this discomfort often arises from two habits: the desire for control and the weight of expectation. Control tries to shape the future. What if my career ends too early? What if my children struggle without me? What if I don't stay healthy? Expectation haunts the past. I thought I'd be more at peace by now. I thought I'd have more to show. Both give birth to unease because neither allows you to fully inhabit the now. And the Buddha reminds us, peace lives nowhere else. Consider Lisa, a 54-year-old woman who spent her life building a business and raising her son. When her son moved out and she sold her company, she expected to feel free. Instead, she felt lost. I thought I'd enjoy this stage, she said, but I'm just worried all the time. I asked her, what are you trying to control? She paused and whispered, my worth. And that was her turning point. She realized she had tied her value to her role. When those roles changed, her anxiety grew. But in Buddhist practice, we're encouraged to see our true self as something deeper, something unchanging. You are not your career. You are not your title. You are awareness itself. 2. The thought that changes everything. This too is not ultimate. In Buddhism, there's a practice of repeating a simple phrase when difficult thoughts arise. This too is not ultimate. It reminds us that thoughts are not truth. Emotions are not permanent, and the circumstances we face, no matter how difficult, are not who we are. This thought doesn't deny pain. It places pain in context. A cloud, not the sky. Take Miguel, a 59-year-old divorced father who feared he had failed as a partner and parent. His mind kept returning to moments of loss, regret, words he wished he hadn't said. He started saying to himself when these memories came, this too is not ultimate. Over time, those words unwound the stories he'd written about himself. I thought I was a failure, he said, but I realized I was a man who loved and who had hurt just like anyone. He didn't erase the past. He stopped letting it define him. 3. Mindfulness. Returning to where you are. Mindfulness in your 50s isn't about learning something new. It's about remembering something ancient. You are alive right now. Anxiety always rushes into tomorrow. Mindfulness calls you back to this breath, this step, this smile. You don't need hours of meditation. You need presence while tying your shoes, gentleness while washing dishes, awareness when talking to a friend. Returning to your breath is returning to yourself. Start small. Even a minute of sitting and following your inhale and exhale can transform your state. Mindfulness isn't a technique, it's a relationship. The more you practice, the more you remember that you are not the chaos of your thoughts. You are the space that holds them. 4. Compassion. Your inner voice matters. Anxiety feeds on criticism, and unfortunately, our own voice can be the most harsh. Instead of asking, what's wrong with me? Try asking, what do I need right now? Compassion in Buddhism isn't just for others. It begins with yourself. Remember, you've survived a lot. You're still growing. Compassion says, I see your struggle and I'm here with you. It's not about fixing. It's about staying, Next time anxiety whispers, place your hand on your heart. Speak kindness to yourself. May I be patient. May I be safe. May I be at peace. Even if you don't feel it yet, say it. Feeling follows action, and peace follows kindness. 5. The thought that destroys anxiety. I am not this fear. There is a final, powerful practice I want to share. A thought that reframes everything. When anxiety feels overwhelming, say to yourself, I am not this fear. It's a radical reclamation. It says, I see this emotion, but I am not consumed by it. I am not this storm. I am the sky that holds it. Consider June, a 58-year-old teacher facing retirement. She began to dread her future, worrying that without her job, she would lose her identity. But one morning, she stood at her window, breathed deeply and said, I am not this fear. It didn't make the worry vanish, but it shrank. She had stepped back into herself. 6. A guided practice. Your anchor in daily life. Now let's bring this home. Sit comfortably. Feel your feet on the floor. Place one hand on your heart, one on your belly. Take a slow breath in and out. Repeat softly in your mind, this too is not ultimate. I am not this fear. I am here. Breathe again. Feel the space around you, the space inside you. As you move through your day, return to this practice anytime anxiety arises. You don't need to fix everything. You only need to come back to yourself, to presence, to compassion, to truth. The Buddha taught that peace is always available, but only in the present. The future isn't promised. The past can't be changed. But right now, right here, is your home. And when the world feels too loud, too fast, too uncertain, return to this one thought that destroys anxiety. This too is not ultimate. I am not this fear. I am here. If this message touched you, share it with someone who may be carrying anxiety silently. And if you'd like more wisdom like this, grounding, compassionate and true, remember to stay connected. Until then, breathe deeply, walk gently, and never forget, you are more than what you fear. You are stillness beneath the storm.